Capturing the essence and enchanting the senses, wine emerges as the divine nectar. Every year, in all wine-producing regions of the world, millions of tons of grapes are harvested and undergo a lengthy process to become wine. But have you ever wondered how grape wine is made by using feet? In this video, we will discover how the finest wines are produced using a traditional and challenging method. For centuries, the age-old practice of crafting grape wine through stomping has been a traditional technique used in many regions worldwide. Although advanced technologies have been introduced in wine production, the process of stomping grapes with feet is still preserved in some wineries as a tribute to the rich history and winemaking craftsmanship. While this method demands significant manual effort and embraces a deeply traditional approach, it continues to produce some of the most exquisite wines. The selection of grapes begins with assessing the right time for harvesting. This depends on various factors such as grape variety, vineyard location, and weather conditions. Grapes must be ripe, but not overly ripe, as excessive ripeness may lead to wines with elevated alcohol content and less acidity. Grapes thrive in temperate climates, but well-protected grapevines can survive severe winters. The sweetness of the wine is directly influenced by the ripeness of the grapes. Therefore, viticulturists often delay harvesting until the grapes reach an advanced stage of maturity. During the grape's growth on the vine, sugars produced through photosynthesis accumulate within the fruit. Before starting the harvest, viticulturists and winemakers carefully evaluate the vineyard to determine the optimal harvest time. This involves considering factors like sugar content, acidity, pH, and grape flavor. These parameters serve as crucial indicators, guiding viticulturists in making decisions about the optimal timing for the harvest. The grape harvesting season kicks off in September. In California alone, over 3 million tons of wine grapes are harvested annually. Workers move through the vineyard, selecting ripe and healthy grapes from the clusters. They look for grapes with uniform color and intact skins, indicative of proper ripeness. Damaged, discolored, or disease-affected grapes are discarded. To guarantee the overall quality, samples are taken from different parts of the vineyard to ensure that all harvested grapes are in optimal condition. Using pruning shears, they carefully cut the selected grape clusters as close to the vine's main stem as possible, without damaging the grapes. The goal is to avoid crushing or harming the grapes during harvesting, as any damage could negatively affect the quality of the wine. After harvesting, the freshly picked grapes are placed in baskets for transportation to the winery. Care is taken during loading to avoid exerting excessive pressure on the grapes, preventing them from breaking and releasing juice. Due to the fragile nature of grapes, gentle handling is essential. Depending on factors like weather conditions and the distance between the vineyard and the winery, it's important to consider maintaining the grapes at an appropriate temperature during transport. This becomes particularly crucial in warm climates, as heat has the potential to trigger premature fermentation or cause damage to the grapes. Upon reaching the winery, an initial inspection is carried out to confirm the quality of the grapes, ensuring grapes are clean without impurities or residues. Additionally, the grapes are weighed to document the total quantity received, a critical step for effective inventory tracking and control throughout the winemaking process. Before starting the grape stomping process, it is vital to ensure that the containers are thoroughly cleaned and properly sanitized. This is essential in preventing any contamination of the must and the final wine. The grape stomping process is a key stage in wine production, involving the crushing of mature grapes to extract their juice for fermentation. Although machines are used for this purpose in most commercial wineries today, the age-old tradition of manual stomping with feet remains a tradition in some small wineries. Individuals participating in the stomping process must thoroughly wash their feet and legs, ensuring they are clean and free of dirt to maintain hygiene during the process. Feet are then disinfected using a mild disinfectant solution to prevent the introduction of unwanted microorganisms into the must. The grapes are then placed in a large and sturdy container, like a vat, which has been cleaned and prepared for the stomping process. This centuries-old ritual begins with an operation known as the crush. This is the most challenging stage of stomping when the grapes are still relatively intact. During the crush, stomping participants interlock their arms and move in a closely knit row through the vat. They work together, stepping slowly to squeeze out the pulp and juice from the grape skins. They do this carefully, using a smooth and consistent motion to prevent damage to the seeds, as crushing them too much could make the juice taste bitter. Stompers move around the vat to make sure that grape skins stay under the surface. As they stomp the grapes, the juice mixes with the skins and seeds. This contact of the juice with the solid parts, called maceration, is crucial for getting the flavors and compounds from the must. The maceration time may vary depending on the type of wine being produced. While this happens, they keep an eye on the color and smell of the must. After the grapes have been stomped to release their juice and macerated for desired flavors, the next step is to extract the juice from the must for further winemaking. The must is moved from the stomping container to the press, where it is evenly and carefully loaded. The press is then activated, applying pressure gradually to the must. This pressure squeezes the juice from the skins and seeds, separating it from the solid components. It's important to apply pressure slowly and in a controlled manner to prevent damage to the delicate flavors and aromas of the wine. The juice obtained through pressing is collected in a different container where it will undergo further fermentation. A sample of the must is taken to assess its quality, considering factors like taste, aroma, and chemical composition. Once the extraction is complete, the solid grape remains, known as pomace left in the press, can be gathered and repurposed for other uses, such as fertilizer production. After extracting the juice from the grapes and separating it from the skins and seeds, it goes through fermentation and aging process. These are crucial steps in wine production that allow the must to transform into wine and develop its flavors and characteristics. The freshly extracted juice is moved to an appropriate fermentation container, which could be an oak barrel or a stainless steel tank. The choice of container can impact the flavor of the wine, as different materials and sizes contribute different characteristics to the wine. Next, yeast is introduced to the mixture to kickstart alcoholic fermentation. Yeasts are tiny organisms that consume the sugars in the must, converting them into alcohol and carbon dioxide. The duration of this process varies from several days to several weeks, depending on factors such as temperature and sugar content. Large fermentation tanks are refrigerated, and temperature monitoring is crucial. Throughout fermentation, the density of the must is monitored. As sugars turn into alcohol, the density decreases. Once the density stabilizes, fermentation is considered complete. Once fermentation is complete, the wine might go through a period of aging in oak barrels. Aging allows flavors to develop and transform over time. The duration of this aging process varies based on the type of wine and the preferences of the winemaker. It can be months or even years. Throughout the aging period, wine samples are regularly tasted to evaluate their quality and development. While the wine ages in wood, a portion of it evaporates, literally disappearing into the air through the winery's roof. This evaporation concentrates the wine, making it denser, and intensifies its flavors and aromas as it matures in the oak barrels. Before bottling, the wine undergoes a final process of clarification and filtration. These crucial steps in wine production are designed to eliminate solid particles and sediments from the wine, enhancing its clarity, stability, and overall appearance. These processes are essential to ensure the quality of the final product. The key element in the wine bottling process is to avoid air entering the bottle, as oxygen can turn wine into vinegar. Colored wine bottles protect the wine from sunlight, which can also affect the flavor. Cork has been the traditional choice for sealing wine bottles since ancient times because it forms an airtight seal. Once bottled and sealed with corks, the wine is ready for distribution and consumption. If you want to know how tequila is made, watch the video on your screen, and please like the video if you enjoyed it and share it with someone who might be interested. Also, subscribe to this channel by activating the notifications to continue learning. Thanks for watching.